Hello, this is Kate. I am the nurse educator with Women's Health Network. I am so glad that you're here to hear our discussion today. I am being joined by our wellness coach, Kristen. Hi, Kristen.
Hi there. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Absolutely. And Kristen and I are going to be talking about some tips for taking your supplements and sticking to your supplement regimen. We have talked to thousands and thousands of women over the years and come up with a pretty solid collection of tips and tricks for taking your supplements so that you can get the most benefit from everything that you're taking. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Kristen, as a wellness coach, you're often the one reaching out to a customer for the first time to make sure they know how to get started with their supplement regimen. What tips do you have for women just getting started with their Women's Health Network supplements?
So what we really, try to stress is to take it as directed. And you're right, as a wellness coach, one of the first things that we do is reach out and make sure that, they understand the protocol correctly. Because taking it correctly does really help eliminate a lot of the issues that can kind of, crop up if you're not taking them correctly. We have protocol sheets available, with detailed descriptions of the correct way to take them. But also you can email us and, call and talk to us too about how to take your, supplements correctly.
Right. So those protocol sheets that you're talking about are accessible right online, and there's a link available when you order, when somebody receives their supplements, they get a link to go check out the protocol sheets. So kind of sticking to that. That's pretty reasonable, I think. So we do hear from some women who need to adjust the protocol for their supplements, and this can happen for a variety of reasons. Everybody's different. So we really are we can't stress enough how happy we are to help people with these kinds of issues when that happens. But the first kind of accommodation that always, that we encourage women to consider is if they're taking any prescription medications. Those really need to be kind of worked around. And we always advise checking in with your healthcare practitioner, your doctor, your pharmacist can be a really good resource for determining what is the best supplement for you or supplement regimen for you if you're taking prescription medications. So if you are on a prescription medication, we recommend not taking your supplements at the exact same time as your prescription medications. You definitely want to space those out a little bit just to make sure everything is getting absorbed appropriately and utilized appropriately without, any competition for absorption and those kinds of things. Like I said, talking to your doctor really before you start our supplements or any kind of supplement regimen to make sure, even vitamins, that they're okay with what you're already taking. And it's a good idea to every so often take what we call a vitamin vacation, but taking a break from your supplements. Your body will receive them better if and when you do decide to restart. But sometimes really the goal with the supplements that we offer is to help you reestablish balance of your hormones and then maintain those results through diet and lifestyle change. So these aren't designed to be taken forever and ever and ever. So really just until you're feeling better. So if at say that 6-month mark, you're not entirely feeling better, taking a break and just seeing what your symptoms are doing, you might be able to function without your supplements, but if you still are really not feeling well after 6 months, it's time to check in with your doctor again, your healthcare practitioner, and just see if there's anything else going on there. So, and like Kristen said, or like you said, Kristen, making sure to take that second dose. Not every supplement requires multiple doses throughout the day. But the ones that do, when it says it on the protocol sheet, that you're supposed to take maybe 2 tablets, you'd want to spread that out. Take one in the morning, and then later on in the day, you've got to remember that second dose, so that you're getting a therapeutic amount of the ingredients. So so those are some of the some things that you should remember. We also know that some women struggle to swallow pills. Kristen, I'm sure you talk with women every day who have those kinds of challenges. So what kind of advice do you typically give women who are struggling with swallowing pills?
So one of the first things that we would recommend are probably, some of the easier things. With our herbal products, they can be ground up, and and if it's a capsule, they can be opened too, and emptied into liquids or soft foods, and can be taken that way. That's kind of an easier way to take them, if there is difficulty in swallowing. But definitely there are other tips too. I actually wrote a blog post that does kind of go into more greater detail about developing pill swallowing skills. It's a good skill to have. But one of the things that we might recommend is working your way up incrementally, starting with a bread and shaping it to a manageable size, or with candy as well. It's a good excuse to have candy. But and get working your way up to the size that you want to manage. And getting comfortable with it. The other thing too is, a lot of people find this to be easy if they, place it on their tongue, take a medium sip of water, and tilt your chin forward. A lot of people, that might be suggested. One of the more interesting things I came across, if people don't like that sticking sensation in their throat, is buttering your pill. Putting, some oil, whether it's coconut oil, margarine, butter, whatever is your thing. Buttering it will kind of coat it better and make it, slide down easier. And then, another possible suggestion that we might, make is try taking it with a carbonated beverage. Maybe the bubbling sensation will kind of distract from, the fact that you are swallowing a pill, if that's, kind of makes people nervous. But those are some of the tips, and definitely, going on, looking at the blog post that I wrote that's coming up has more tips. But, also another great resource is pillswallowing.com. It's just an educational website for that.
Excellent. So those are good tips. I would not have thought of that with the oiling or buttering the pill or the tablet before swallowing.
Yeah. That was new for me too.
Yeah, it's a great idea. Yeah, great. So once we're taking our supplements, sometimes we need a little extra assistance. We speak with women who find that they need a little more help adjusting their protocol because maybe they've encountered some challenges. It's not super common, but some women do have these challenges. So there are a couple symptoms that women sometimes report when they do start their supplement regimen, and they're really easy to troubleshoot. So the first one is sleeplessness. When you start your supplement regimen and you're experiencing any difficulty sleeping, almost all of the time, it's just a matter of changing the time of day that you're taking your supplements. So that's going to be individual depending on what you're taking, and a few other factors kind of related to your diet and things like that, that we're really happy to help make those adjustments for you personally. So we always, if somebody is experiencing difficulty sleeping, when they start taking their supplements, we encourage them to call in and speak with a wellness coach or an advisor or a nurse educator. And so we can help you to work that out and kind of work out the kinks and get a schedule that makes sense for you. The other challenge that women sometimes report is digestive upset. So maybe a little change in appetite, decreased appetite a little more, or a little bit of nausea or upset stomach. So when women encounter these challenges, the first thing we tell them is, if you know you have a sensitive system, and many women have sensitive digestive systems, if you know that that's you, start slowly with your supplements. If you're taking something that needs to be dosed twice a day, start by taking one a day, for the first maybe 3 or 4 days until you know how you're going to handle that. And then by the end of the first week of your supplements, you should be up to a full dose of whatever it is you're taking. So that's one thing. Like Kristen said, crushing a tablet or opening a capsule, mixing that into a little bit of a little bit of food or into a smoothie can also be really helpful. There are lots of really inexpensive pill crushers and pill splitters out there. Really, any pharmacy, or the medicine aisle, really probably at any supermarket, should have pill crushers or pill cutters available if you need them. The other thing for digestive discomfort is that it's really important to make sure that you're taking your supplements, again, as directed, but most of the time that is with food, for a couple of reasons. Food kind of puts something in your stomach so that it's not just, your supplement trying to break down on an empty stomach, which can create nausea and indigestion for some people. Having that there as a buffer is helpful, but also making sure that you're taking them specifically after you've eaten a meal that has some kind of healthy fats. And those are the kind of fats that you're finding in nuts and nut butters, seeds, avocado, salmon, healthy fish, things like that. It's going to help with the absorption of your nutrients. Everything, all of your supplements, your herbs, your vitamins, minerals, all of that is fantastic, but only if we're absorbing it, So that's a great thing to remember. You've got to have some food in your stomach. And finally, for the digestive upset, some women find, depending on how long their systems have been out of balance and how long just really they've been struggling with digestive issues. Some women struggle with digestive issues on top of whatever other imbalance they have going on. Adding in some other supportive supplements like a probiotic, L-glutamine is great, digestive enzymes. It really depends on what your own needs are, and we can kind of help you to sort those things out. But some women, for the first 30 days that they're on a supplement regimen, do need to have a little extra support for their digestive system. So that's something to consider also, and we can help make those recommendations for you. So like I already said, and like Kristen also said, you can always call or email us with any challenges that you're having. That's what we do. We love to work with you. So Kristen, did you have any other tips for everybody that joined us today to watch?
Well, I'm not sure if you had kind of mentioned it, but for people that tend to be sensitive to supplements, when adjusting their protocol after about 1 to 2 weeks, we would, recommend that they return to the standard protocol, just because, taking less than what we would kind of recommend, it can affect the results. So we would, again, encourage them to, after about 1 to 2 weeks, again, return to that standard protocol that's suggested.
Okay, so if you do take a break, if you do step back, remember to boost it back up again so that you can get the results that you're looking for, right?
Right.
All right, so those are all the tips that we have for you today. Like Kristen mentioned, she's got a great blog post that's going to be coming out that will be on the website soon, right? And that's a great place that you can check in if you need some help with the pill swallowing. But Also, keep checking back. We've got all kinds of information, and if you ever have any questions or feel stuck or feel confused or any of that, go ahead and give us a call or shoot us an email at support@womenshealthnetwork.com, and we can help you troubleshoot any of that. So until next time, Kristen, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yes, thank you.
Yep, absolutely. So have a great day. Thanks.